All right, yo, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? How y'all doing? Welcome to another awesome Thursday. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewale Booker Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. Today we get to talk about awesome African allure, the great Mansa Musa, the great king from Africa, Mali. I've never done my podcast on my TikTok channel before, so you know what? This is a good time for me to try it out. I want to try it out, see how it feels. I'm definitely going to like it because I've got a new computer coming in. So thank y'all for joining me, man. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi Not Life. My name is Adewale Booker Jr. Please review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. Today I said I'm going to talk about Mansa Musa, the great king from Africa. Reigned from 1280 AD to 1337 AD. Wealthiest human being in history. Forget king, just wealthiest human being, period. This man was giving loans to countries. That's how wealthy this man was. So y'all, thank y'all for joining me tonight. And be sure to share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you're not already hitting the button. Thanks for joining me. It's going to be an amazing episode. Hey, I love talking about African stuff like that. Thank y'all for joining me. So y'all, this is going to be an amazing episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you already haven't already. Thanks for joining the channel. Thanks for being with us. TikTok people, YouTube people, thanks for being part of the chat tonight. It's a great deal, y'all. So, y'all, let's get to it, man. Before we get into this podcast, please let's thank our sponsors. This Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Tiegler. If you need executive services from plumbers to beauticians and everything between, Homeland Fashions. I can't believe I just said that. How y'all doing? Welcome to the chat, everybody. Another first episode of Sound Vision Not Life that I've actually went live on TikTok on. So this is the first time I've actually went on here for the first time to actually talk about a live streaming. So thank y'all for joining me. Y'all be sure to hit them likes button, man. Yeah, my podcast, for all of y'all who've been seeing the live stream, well, I'm actually going to do a podcast episode today. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for joining me. You know what I mean? Be sure to share, like, share, and share. You know what I mean? So today we're talking about Mansa Musa, the great Mansa Musa. And you know, I got my African attire on today, so I know y'all ain't never seen that before either. You know what I mean? So thank y'all for seeing it. So look, this Sound Vision podcast is brought to you by Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion accessories from the motherland. Homeland Fashion owner operated by Tracy Agboke, one of the best CEOs out there in the galaxy. She's going to be coming on the show shortly when I go live to come and talk about y'all, to break down Homeland Fashions. So this is the logo of Homeland Fashions, home of African accessories from the motherland. Custom designed, y'all. Just like what I got on right now. This kind of stuff is what Homeland Fashions is making. So custom apparel, custom attire, custom African gear, man. It's a beautiful thing, y'all. So thank y'all for joining me tonight. Jax, thank you for hitting the like buttons. Let's get these likes up. Maybe we can hit 20,000 likes tonight. I know I'm going to be on here for about an hour. 45 minutes maybe is usually what it takes for me to do my podcast. So I keep it short and sweet, man. But I make sure it's lively and energetic. So thank y'all for joining me. And this podcast is also brought to you by Tiegler. If you need executive services from plumbers to beauticians and everything between, that's Tiegler.com. Don't wait, that's Tiegler.com. Tiegler is owned and operated by Adetai Agboke, one of the best CEOs out there in the galaxy right there. I've had him on the show, podcast episode number 170. So if y'all are down for one of the podcasts, check out episode number 170, man, of my podcast. It's definitely an amazing episode where I talk to Tiegler and he breaks down everything about how Tiegler operates and his owner operates and all that stuff. So thank y'all for joining me, man. And yes, that's right, Tiegler.com. And thank you, Jax, for hitting them like buttons. All of y'all who are enjoying this podcast right now, please share and like. The more you share, the more the platform's going to grow, right? Because this is the first time I ever actually went live with my podcast on TikTok. I've been wanting to do this, but I didn't know how to go about it on TikTok. So thank y'all for joining me. Hopefully this works out tonight. I hope it does. And I hope if it does, I'm going to be on here a lot every time with my podcast, because TikTok is also an amazing platform to do podcasts on. So Tiegler.com. And if you're a plumber, beautician, everything between, that's Tiegler.com. And this podcast is also brought to you by Anadel Fodonaco. And I forgot to tell y'all, it's owned and operated, Tiegler is owned and operated by Adetai Agboke, one of the best CEOs out in the galaxy. He's the thing focuses on in the East Coast area, which is New York and Virginia area, then in the West Coast, Los Angeles and Long Beach area. So if you're in those areas, you want to definitely check out Tiegler.com. That's Tiegler.com. And the Tiegler.com logo is this right here. You know what I mean? That's the logo right there. And then this podcast is also brought to you by Anadel Fodonaco. Don't live with foot pain like Anadel Fodonaco. Make your feet happy again. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. That's AnadelCenter.com for details, y'all. Anadel Center is owned and operated by Dr. Negro Sode, the best foot specialist out there in the galaxy. That's right. Just like how Adetaya and Tracy Agboke are the best CEOs in the galaxy. He's the best foot specialist in the galaxy. If your feet hurt, you need to end the foot pain, you got to go to anadaleCenter.com and check it out, man. You know what I mean? anadaleCenter.com, y'all. Amazing foot pain. Dr. Nerisota's got two locations, the Dallas, Texas area and the Frisco, Texas area. So you got to check it out, y'all. anadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. anadaleCenter.com for details, y'all. So, y'all, that's our sponsors. Look, now let's get this amazing podcast episode about the great Mansa Musa, the great king from Africa, the wealthiest human being to ever lived. The things I'm going to touch on today is origins, him being a scholar, wealth and innovator, king, futurist, of course, being mentally healthy, and then, of course, final thoughts. Y'all, today is about King Mansa Musa, man, from the great empire of Mali in West Africa. You don't hear about too many guys like this, but now you're going to hear about him today. And me being a proud African, being from Nigeria myself, being from West Africa, we as Pan-Africans now, we're not seeing Africa as West and East. We're just seeing that you're from Africa. So King Mansa Musa, his origins, he was born in 1280 AD, and then he reigned from that 1280 AD to his reign time actually was y'all, let me get this real quick. I'm going to tell y'all the reign time from 1880. And look, y'all, if you know you're loving this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Please do so. Share with your friends. Share, because I've never done my podcast on this platform before. So, you know, I'm pretty proud of going on here and going on TikTok. I said, let me get on TikTok and do this live stream. I've never went on TikTok before with my podcast. Why not? Why not? Right? So y'all be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, and be sure to share this, share, man. If you're not following the channel already, please follow. So Mansa Musa, right, the great king of Africa, the wealthiest human being. He was born in the Mali Empire. And I'm going to break down I'm going to give you a breakdown of who he is, and exactly what he's from. Hey, thank you for the roses and thank you for the streaming. Hey, welcome to another episode of Sanusi Not Life. This is a podcast episode, y'all. I've never done my podcast on my TikTok platform before, so I'm super excited. So y'all be sure to share, share, and like. If you share, a lot more people are going to join us. So please be sure to share and like, y'all. I didn't know you could do a podcast episode on TikTok, but now I know you can. So it's pretty awesome. So y'all, let's talk about the great Mansa Musa. And look, I'm going to point y'all to some pictures so y'all know what time it is. Give me a second. I'm going to actually point you to some pictures so you can see what this great human being look like. Y'all give me a second. Yeah, so right here. Let's go. I'm going to flip the camera around. Oh, look at all these likes. Wow, 2,000 likes already. This is beautiful, y'all. Let me flip the camera so y'all can see who the great Mansa Musa is. You see this man right here? That is the great Mansa Musa, the greatest king in history. You see this right here? That's the great Mansa Musa, wealthiest human being to have ever lived. That man could give country loans. You know what I'm saying? That's Mansa Musa right there, man. The great Mansa Musa. So thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for being part of the chat tonight. So that's the great Mansa Musa, y'all. Let me hit the flip back button. This is different from operating the cameras things than on YouTube. But y'all, thank y'all for joining me, man. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi Not Life. So today we're talking about Mansa Musa, the great king, the greatest, richest human being to have ever lived. He just so happens to be a king too. So, you know, Mansa Musa, man, the greatest king in history, the wealthiest king. This man was so wealthy, he was giving countries loans. You know what I'm saying? That's how wealthy Mansa Musa was. So Mansa Musa's origins begin in the great nation of Mali. He was born in actually reigned. They say he reigned from 1312 to 1337, but that's incorrect. He actually reigned from 1280 AD to 1337 AD. He was born in the Mali Empire. His house was the Kata dynasty. He was the son. So let me break him down to y'all. Mansa Musa was Mansa of Mali. He was the ninth Mansa. In African lore, Mansa meant the crown in that particular neighborhood of Africa right there. So whenever you were a king, you were called Mansa, and that's how Mansa Musa gets. So he took the name. He was actually the ninth. So he's depicted in the 14th century, which was when he existed. So y'all, for you trying to figure out the math, that's over 800 years ago. This man was around almost 800 years ago. And still till today, he's the wealthiest human being to have ever lived. So nobody can touch him in terms of wealth. Nobody. People just have stocks. This man had cold cash. You know what I'm saying? So Mansa Musa was a great mathematician, a great innovator, a great futurist, a great scholar. He wanted to educate his people. He built the first university called in Sorole, which I'll break that down later to y'all. But please be sure to share, like, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I know I don't really do live streaming, but today I am. Today I want to talk about some live streaming, man. I got to, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi Life, episode number 241. I think I'm going to start doing my podcast episodes on this platform. I think I love it. You know what I mean? So y'all, now Mansa Musa was reached his territorial peak during his reign, which Mali did. He was Mansa Musa's reign was often regarded as the zenith of Mali's power and prestige, although he features less in Mandinka oral traditions than his predecessors, which is Mansa was exceptionally wealthy to the extent that contemporaries described his incomparable wealth as it's not, you can't really count how much it was worth. So much, as I stated, y'all, this man was worth in the excess of 500 billion in 1337. So that's like 5 trillion today. You know what I'm saying? The ridiculous amount of wealth that this man had. He was giving countries loans. That's how wealthy this man was. Egypt, West African countries, East African countries, Arab countries. This man was giving loans to countries. So there's really no way to accurately number his wealth. But local manuscripts and travelers account the master's wealth as he would go on these pilgrimages and give money to other countries. That's how wealthy he was. Over a long period of time, he amassed wealth through gold, through fishing, through spices, through ivory, silks, and ceramics. Mansa, however, was presently known as the extent of mechanics and also trades as well. At the time Mansa's ascension to the throne, Mali consisted largely of territory of former Ghana Empire, which had become vassal of Mali. The Mali Empire comprised land that is now part of Guinea, Senegal, Mauritania, and Gambia, and the modern state of Mali. So thank all of y'all for joining me tonight, man. I'm definitely I see people over here talking about all kinds, and thank y'all for joining me, man. This is amazing. So y'all, Mali, Mansa Musa, as I'm gonna keep going, Mansa Musa went to Hajj to Mecca in 1324, traveling with enormous entourage and vast supply of gold. En route, he spent time in Cairo, where his lavish gift-giving is said to have notably affected the value of gold in Egypt. That's how wealthy he was. Like, his wealth was so wealth that he went to other countries and he would just destabilize it because of his health. Not directly, but just because he was wealth. He was a giving human being. And he gave as much, and he was giving so much, he had so much. And then his predecessor said to have noticeably affected the value of gold in Egypt and garnered the attention of wider Muslim world. Musa expanded the borders of the Mali Empire, in particularly incorporating the cities of Gai, Timbuktu into his territory. He sought closer ties with the rest of the Muslim world, particularly in Moloch and Maradan sultans. He recruited scholars from the wide Muslim world to travel to Mali, such as Indonesian poet Abdul Esma Ali Sahil, and helped establish Timbuktu as a center of Islamic learning. His reign is associated with numerous construction projects, including the portion of Dingjok Mosque in Timbuktu. Name and titles for Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, personal name was Musa, which was Arabic. The name of Moses in Islam. Mansa, which means ruler or king in Mande, was the title of the ruler of empire. In oral tradition and in Timbuktu chronicles, Musa is further known as Kanku Musa. In Mandan tradition, it's common for one's name to be prefixed by his mother's name. So the name of Kunka Musa means Musa, son of Kunka, who's the son. He's the son of Kunka, who is the queen of Mali. Although it's unclear whether the genealogy implied literal. Al-Yafi gave Musa's name as Musa Abin Abi Bak. Yeah, Mansa Musa was just, oh my God. And then, so of course, when you're that wealthy, thank y'all for joining me tonight. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi Life podcast, episode number 241. Yeah, I just I'll try today on my, and try to go live on my TikTok platform and talk about my YouTube, my whatchamacallit, my live stream. I've never recorded my podcast on my live stream before, so thank y'all for joining me. Today I'm focusing on a great African king, Mansa Musa. episode number 241. So I'm looking forward to this. So y'all be sure to share. Share, and share. Who doesn't want to hear about Africa? Look at me. I got African attire on right now. So every week y'all going to see me. I'm going to be flipping back and forth between YouTube and TikTok doing my podcast. I definitely did not know TikTok was this welcoming in terms of a podcast. So y'all, thank y'all for joining me, man. Mansa Musa, of course, the lineage, his Didri Tesmenin, Musa's father was named Fagu Layi, and his mother may have been named Kaku. Faji Layi was the son of Abubakar, a brother of Sajuta, the first Musa of the Mali Empire. Ibn Khan does not mention Fagare, referring to Musa as Musa ibn Agan. This can be interpreted as either Musa of son Abubakar or Musa descendant of Abubakar. It is implausible that Abu Abakar was Musa's father due to the amount of time spent between Sajjan's reign and Musa. Man, Mansa Musa was incredible. I would sit here. So if I read y'all the lineage, y'all check this out. Watch this. I'm gonna flip up. Let me let y'all see something real quick. Right? This is Mansa Musa lineage right here. Y'all see that right there? So when you're looking at something like that, you realize how great this man is. The Mali Empire. You know what I mean? So Mansa Musa, man, the greatest African king, the greatest, richest human being, wealthiest human being in history. Nobody can touch this man's money, man. His money was long. You know what I'm saying? So, so early life and ascension to power. Let me break that down. The date of Mansa's birth is unknown, but it appears he has been a young man in 1324. The Turkish alphabet claims that Mansa accidentally. So Musa's ascended to power in the early 1300s under unclear circumstances. According to Musa's own account, his predecessor as Mansa of Mali, presumably Muhammad ibn Ku, launched 2 expeditions to explore the Atlantic Ocean, 200 ships for the first exploratory mission and 2,000 ships for the second. Wow. The Musa led the second expedition himself and appointed Mansa Musa as deputy of the rule to rule the empire until he returned. When he did not return, Musa was crowned Mansa himself, marking a transfer of line of succession from the descendants of Sajunta to the descendants of his brother Abu Ba. Some modern historians have cast doubts on Musa's version of events, suggesting he may have deposed his predecessor and devised the story about voyage to explain how he took power. Nonetheless, the possibility of such a voyage has been taken seriously by... I love how historians always just talk, but they don't know what they're talking about. So it's like they just saying stuff just to say stuff, but they don't know what time it is. But this man, Mansa Musa, man, considered the greatest African king of all time. You've got some great ones. Jesu himself, King Shaka Zulu. That's top 3 right there. You know what I'm saying? So his early reign, let's break that down. His early reign. So it's 3 parts I'm going to give you. His early reign, pilgrimage to Mecca, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing. Early reign, Musa was a young man when he came to Mansa, possibly in his early 20s. Given the grandeur of his subsequent Hajj, it likely that Musa spent much of his early reign preparing for it. Among those preparations would likely have been raids to capture and enslave people from neighboring lands, as Musa's entourage would include many thousands of people from other countries. Historian slaves. I don't know if I believe that. Historian Michael Gomez estimates that Mali may have captured over... Man, get out of here, man. Perhaps because of this, Musa's early reign was spent in continuous military conflict with neighboring non-Muslim societies. In 1324, while in Cairo, Musa said that he had conquered 24 cities and surrounding districts. Sorry, I can't talk about prices of things anymore. I'm not getting into that. So, pilgrimage of Mansa Musa to Mecca. Musa was a Muslim, and his Hajj and pilgrimage to Mecca made him well known across North Africa and Middle East. To Musa, Islam was an entry into the cultured world of Eastern Mediterranean. He would have spent much time fostering the growth of religion with his empire. When Musa departed Mali for the Hajj, he left his son Muhammad to rule in absence. Musa made his pilgrimage between 1324 and 1325, spanning 2,700 miles. Oh my God, that's a lot of walking. Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, y'all be sure to share now. Be sure to share and like. Yeah, look, this is my first time doing my podcast episode. Everything's not always going to be about animation. Next week, I'll be talking about animation. But today, I'm talking about the great African king. That's right. You heard me. Mansa Musa, man. So y'all be sure to share, like, and we're gonna definitely do that. And then Musa made his pilgrimage between 1324 and 1325. Wow. His predecessor his position reportedly included upwards of a lot of people, 12,000 people, all wearing barricade and yanin silk, each carrying 1.8 kilograms of gold. That's nuts. They were carrying 4 pounds of gold, each one of them, with heralds dressed in silks, bearing gold staffs, organizing horses and handling bags. That's totally insane. Musa provided all necessities for the procession, feeding the entire company of men and animals. Those animals included 80 camels, which carried 80 kg of gold dust. Musa gave the gold to poor who met along the route. Musa not only gave his to the cities he passed on the way to Mecca, including Cairo and Medina, but also traded gold of souvenirs. It was reported that he built a mosque every Friday. Wow, that's insane. Shabil al-Din Umayyad, who visited Cairo shortly after Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca, noted that it was a lavish display of power, wealth, and unprecedented, but its size and pageantry. Musa made a major point of showing off his nation's wealth. He sure did. Thank y'all for joining me, man. Be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for being. Welcome to another awesome episode of Sanusi Not Life podcast, episode number 241. This is the first time I ever went live on TikTok for my podcast, so y'all show some love, hit them like buttons, spread the word. Come on now. I'm not always going to talk about cartoons or all this other art stuff. Sometimes I want to talk about real stuff, so y'all be sure to share. Share, and share. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to see me keep growing? Be sure to share. Thank y'all for joining me tonight, though. So that's Mansa Musa's history, man. I would take forever if I kept on going with this, but that's Mansa Musa's history right there. Now, let's get into the next phase, him as a scholar. Mansa Musa as a scholar was important because everywhere he went, he made it a no point to grow the sciences and the mathematics of his country. So he would hire mathematicians and from various other nations, Arab nations, other African nations come and teach mathematics. So much so that he built a school. The first school in Mali was called, was called Sankura Madashi. So Mansa embarked on a large building program, raising mosques and madaras in Timbuktu and Gao. Most notable, the ancient center of learning Sankore Madarash, which is still can be known today. And for y'all, let me flip the camera so y'all can see it. The University of Sankara was constructed during his reign. It was actually known as the first civilization, the first university in the world. During this period, there was an advanced level of urban living in the major centers of Mali. Thus laid the foundation of urban civilization. At the height of its power, Mali had at least 400 cities, and the interior of Niger Delta was densely populated. So Mansa Musa was a very man who believed in education, right? He really empowered his people to be educated, which was a big thing because, like I said, Sankara Madas University, which is, give me a second, I'm going to show y'all the, right here. Give me a second, I'm going to flip the camera. Y'all keep hitting them like buttons now. Come on now. I know y'all are used to seeing superhero stuff, but hey, today you got to learn something. You see that? That's Sankara University right there. That is beautiful, ain't it? I'm not going to be talking about Mansa Musa, and there isn't a bunch of African Americans in this thing right here. Y'all got to start learning to want to be educated instead of all about stunting and sneakers and all this basic stuff, man. You know what I mean? Some of y'all need to want to learn education. It's okay to be educated. You know what I mean? But that's Sankara University right there. The first university in the world. So now, that's how Mansa Musa, I think by educating himself, it also allowed him to grow his wealth. Because his wealth ties into his origin. Because he was born into wealth. Imagine, you hear about a lot of people inheriting 5 million or 10 million or whatever million they inherit. Well, he took 5 million and turned it into like 400 billion. You know what I'm saying? So it don't get no more stronger than that. You know what I mean? You hear that, but he actually did that. And I think the education part was important to him. Excuse me, yo. I've had school this week. I've had work this week. I work full-time. I go to school full-time. And I do my own thing full-time too as well. I don't stop. You know what I mean? So thank all of y'all for joining me. Welcome to also episode of Sanusi Live podcast, episode number 241. Can you believe that? Episode number 241? That's kind of incredible. So y'all, thank y'all for joining me, man. I appreciate y'all being part of the chat tonight, being part of the amazing stream tonight. Be sure to share. And share. So now, Mansa Musa being a scholar, wanted to educate his people. For him, it was vital that his people be educated, which is really how you grow your economy and grow your place in society. When you can educate your people, they have the power to be independent, fiscal responsibility, and all those things like that. So him being a scholar, he scholarized himself. When you take trips like that to Mecca and various trips and pilgrimage to other different places, man, it changes your whole outcome of how you see yourself, right? So now, economy and education. I'm going to tie them both together, right? It was recorded that Mansa Musa traveled through the cities of Timbuktu and Gao on his way to Mecca and made them a part of the empire when he returned in 1325. He brought architects from Andusa, a region in Spain, and Cairo to build Grand Palace in Timbuktu and the Great Dajjal Mosque, which is incredible. So this is Dajjal Mosque. Let me show it to y'all. One of the most important buildings in the history of the world. You know what I'm saying? Right there. Dijon Mosque. You know what I mean? Mansa Musa was that man, was that dude. He was him. You know what I'm saying? He was him. That's Mansa Musa right there. Yeah. I know I'm giving y'all a lecture lesson, but I'm going to keep doing this now. I didn't realize how much of a following I could have. So y'all be sure to share, like, and subscribe. If you love cool stuff, African allure, look at what I got on right here, man. You know what I mean? So check this out. So let's get back to this thing. So he brought architects, and Timbuktu, the Dajjal Mosque still stands today. Still standing. Timbuktu soon became the center of trade, culture, and Islam. Markets brought in merchants from Hasland, Egypt, and other African kingdoms. A university was founded in the city as well as in Malian cities, Djeni and Zago. And Islam was spread through the markets and university, making Timbuktu a new area of Islamic scholarship. News of the Malian empire city of wealth even traveled across the Mediterranean to southern Europe, where traders from Venice, Granada, and Gaio soon added Timbuktu to their maps to trade manufactured goods for gold. The University of Sankara, which is in Timbuktu, was restaffed under Musa's reign with jurists, astronomers, mathematicians. I mean, Timbuktu, they were teaching mathematics, y'all. It was like that. The Greeks, the Romans, all came to Africa in Timbuktu, Mali, to come and learn mathematics. How do you think the Greeks got their mathematics? From Timbuktu. They're scientists. Timbuktu. The concept of a road. Timbuktu. See? When I do stuff like this, it makes me realize that I'm educating us, right? It's all about getting educated. And so the university became a center of learning and culture during Muslim scholars from around Africa and Middle East to Timbuktu, right? Everybody from all over the world, including Romans and Greeks, came over. In 1330, the kingdom of Mosul invaded and conquered the city of Timbuktu. Gao already had captured by Musa's general, and Musa quickly regained Timbuktu, built a rampant and stone fort, placed standing army to protect the city from future invaders. While Musa's palace has since vanished, the university and mosque still stand in Timbuktu. You know, I'm sure that the Assimi Gota of Mali right now is probably figuring out how he's going to rebuild the Musa's empire. You know what I mean? So, and also too, this is something I guess I could touch on. The death of Mansa Musa's death is uncertain. Using the reign lengths reported, Ibn Khan calculate back from the death of Musa Salman in 1360. Musa would have died in 1332. Yeah, however, Ibn Khaldun also reports that Musa sent an envoy to congratulate Abu al-Hasan for his conquest of Taliesin, which took place in 1337. But by the time Abu al-Hasan sent an envoy in response, Musa had died and Suleiman was on the throne, suggesting Musa died in 1337. In contrast, so this man was incredible. Oh, thank all of y'all, man. Look at that. We got 3.2 thousand likes. 3.3 man, that's crazy, y'all. Y'all think we can get to 10,000 likes tonight? I see Aaron X over there, right there. Appreciate you supporting, man. Be sure to share, share, and share. If y'all love podcasts, I'm gonna start bringing my podcast to YouTube, to my TikTok platform now. And if you're not following, be sure to follow. Definitely follow. Y'all got to share. Mansa Musa's legacy, because his wealth is tied to his legacy. This man was incredible. Mansa Musa's reign is commonly regarded as Mali's golden era, without question. It's not even close. Yeah, Mansa Musa was the golden age. He was the golden age of Mali's empire, of Mali's vast wealth. So now let me read this part, and then I'm gonna skip on to his wealth part, because him being a king is also tied to his wealth. His legacy. Musa's reign is commonly regarded as Mali's golden age, but this perception may be the result of his reign being the best recorded by Arabic sources, rather than him necessarily being the wealthiest and most powerful Mansa of Mali. Territory of Mali Empire was in its height during the reign of Musa and his brother Solomon, and covered the Sudan Sahel region of West Africa. Musa is less renowned in Mande original tradition as performed by Juli. He's criticized for being unfaithful to tradition, and some of the Jew regarded Musa as having wasted Mali's wealth. How can you waste something when you built it up? Some people just love hating, boy. However, some aspects of Musa's appear to have been incorporated into a figure of Mandate oral tradition known as Vajii, which translates to father of hope. So a lot of people saw Mansa Musa as the father of hope to rebuild the Mali Empire. He built it up so great that it's till today we still speak of it. Movies might be done of Mansa Musa. We know that Michael B. Jordan and his boy oh my God, the Black Panther director are looking at making a movie. What I would ask is that please don't do this in English. Do this in the Malian language. Thank you very much, which is Mandarin. You know what I mean? So Fajai is remembered as having traveled to Mecca and retrieved ceremonial objects known as blue, which feature in Mandarin traditional religion. As Fajai, Musa is sometimes conflicted with the figure in oral tradition and named Falaki, who is best known as Sajuta's top general. The figure of Majid combines both Islam and traditional beliefs. So the name Mansa Musa has become virtually synonymous with the pilgrimage in Madain tradition, such that figures who are remembered as going on a pilgrimage, such as Falaga, also called Musa. So Musa's wealth, man, which ties to him being a king, right? He was an innovator. When I say an innovator, he thought about the mathematics, he thought about the sciences, he brought about astronomers. Man, Aaron X, thank you so much for all them likes, man. I really appreciate. Greatly appreciated, man. Greatly appreciate. Greatly appreciate. Thank y'all for joining me. Y'all sure be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Yes, we're talking about the great Mansa Musa today. Y'all sure be share, man. Let's get this share on so we can get more people in this channel, in this platform right now. Thank y'all for 4,000 likes. That's amazing. That's more than I've ever had on YouTube on a podcast episode. I can tell you that much. You know what I mean? So Mansa Musa is renowned for his wealth and generosity. While online articles in the 21st century have claimed Musa was the richest person of all time, historians have argued that Musa's wealth is impossible to calculate accurately because that man was so wealthy. It's ridiculous. Contemporary Arabic sources may have tried to express that Musa had more gold than thought possible, rather than trying to give an exact number. Further, it's difficult to meaningfully to compare the wealth of historical figures such as Mansa Musa due to the difficulty of separating the personal wealth of the monarch from the wealth of the state, or the difficulty of comparing the wealth across highly different societies. Musa himself further promoted appearance of having vast and inexhaustible wealth by spreading rumors that gold grew like a plant in the kingdom, which it did, literally. Encyclopedia Britannica states that it's widely considered to be the wealthiest person in history. He is. The Catalan Atlas 1375 AD described Mansa Musa as the richest man in the region, but makes no mention of him being the richest. Man, get out of here. We don't need your validation. We know Mansa Musa was the wealthiest human being in history. There's always somebody historian trying to take shots, but it's all right. Let's see here. What else do we need to know? I mean, him as a king, without question, he's the greatest king in Malian history. Only next to, of course, there's three figures that I think are the greatest in African lore. Jesu himself, who's from East Africa, excuse me. Mansa Musa, West Africa. Then, of course, the great King Shaka Zulu from the south. So, those are the great three kings of Africa, without question. And he reigned for 25 years. 25 years. That's how long he reigned, from 1280 AD to 1337 is what I understand that his reign was. Mansa Musa was such a king that he taught um 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 mathematics, astrology. He brought he never allowed his country to be ignorant. He wanted a nation of brilliance, which is why I was able to build the way he was able to build. You know what I mean? So he was, to say the least, incredible. You know what I mean? Incredible. And when you have a king that thinks like this, what you have now is a situation where, when a king is that rich in thought and puts his people in a state of advancement, you can't do nothing but admire him. I need to put him on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? I need to draw this man and have a post of him in my house somewhere. That's how great Mansa Musa was. People don't understand what he's doing is what a lot of African American people today wish they could do. You've got a few wealthy billionaires. You've got this one man who was worth like $40 billion. But what Mansa Musa did, we're still speaking of Mansa Musa till today, in the year 2026. And this man hasn't been around since 1337 AD. That's well over 700 plus years, y'all. 7 centuries. 7 centuries. And he's still the wealthiest human being that has ever lived. You know how hard it is to be not very few can give another country a loan. But Mansa Musa did that. Egypt, Cairo, all parts of different eastern parts of the Mediterranean, the eastern Middle Eastern world, other Western African countries. His vast wealth was ridiculous. Geographically, King Shaka Zulu had the biggest had the biggest um 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 uh uh give me a second, y'all. King Shaka Zulu had the biggest territory, but in terms of wealth, Mansa Musa was all day, every day. You know what I mean? I'm actually really enjoying this. Thank all of y'all for joining me, man. And as always, I'm the #1 streamer right now. Always. Thanks to y'all. Y'all think I'm playing? Let me show y'all proof, man. I stay being #1 streamer. Look at this. Y'all see Sanusi Vision right there? That's thanks to y'all. That is thanks to y'all. Now imagine if there was 100 people in the chat. Imagine if there was 100 people in this chat, y'all. How many people would actually be in this stream right now? 100 people in this chat, y'all. Can we one day get 100 people in my live streaming, in my episode? I'm not only going to talk about cartoons, but I'm going to talk about real life figures too. That's what I really enjoy about my podcast. So thank you y'all for joining me. So Mansa Musa's wealth is beyond comprehension. Like, I, as an African myself, he makes me realize that you can achieve anything if you just put your mind to it. It's the constant of growth in one's mind, right? Where you elevate your status of your people to a plateau beyond comprehension. He was so wealthy, man. It was insane. The wealthiest king in history. The wealthiest human being in history. Mansa Musa's wealth knows no bound. And once again, thank all of you for joining me. Look, let me flip the camera so y'all can see what this man looks again. You know what? Let me do like this. How about this? Y'all see this? That's Mansa Musa right there. That's him in his greatness right there. Y'all see that? That's Mansa Musa right there. This man was so great. Look at this. These are the many different images of him and his wealth and what he did, what he was able to accomplish. You know what I mean? So that's Mansa Musa wealth right there, y'all. I mean, that man had money for money. We could all get a loan from Mansa Musa today, boy. I'm telling you. Boy, we get a loan from Mansa Musa, boy, he might break us off, give us 100,000 a piece or something. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's Mansa Musa right there, man. The greatest king in African history. And thank y'all for joining me, man. Thank you for being part of the stream tonight. You know what I'm saying? But Mansa Musa, man, was king of all kings. His wealth was beyond vast comprehension. I mean, beyond vast comprehension. Let me see what else. I'm trying to see. So we've got a character according to. So according to character, he was a well. He was a well. He was a well. He was a good looking man. He was about 6'3". He was about six. No, it was a young man, brown skin, of course. What else is he gonna be? With a pleasant face and handsome appearance, Arabic writers such as Ibn Butta and Abdurrahman Asad al-Yafi praised Musa's generosity, virtue, and intelligence. He was brilliant, man. Brilliant beyond brilliant. Like Mansa Musa was brilliant. You know what I'm saying? This man was all that, and man, he was smart as I don't know what, man. Um, when him and his followers first landed in Cairo, they brought all kinds of stuff. I mean, they were giving out gold like it was free cheese. You know what I'm saying? Mansa Musa was like that. You know what I'm saying? He was like that. Thank all of y'all for joining me, man. Y'all be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. And if you're not following my channel, please follow the channel. Y'all know y'all want to follow the channel. You know what I mean? But yo, that's Mansa Musa's reign. When you have a king of such a status, a man that thinks like this, now you're thinking he's a futurist, right? Because he's the type of guy that thought, okay, if the world, if you're going to be an empire forever, you must learn the mathematics, the sciences, the astrology, and all that kind of stuff. So there's very few kings that think like that, the way he used to think. And for that era, for the amount of wealth that he had, the generosity that he showed to others that didn't have, that's what made him the greatest king. Like, he was giving out bars and bars of gold. Like, with one bar of gold, one country could be rich like that. One human being who had a lot of financial difficulty could be rich like that. Mansa Musa's backyard was a gold. You know, I'm pretty sure he gave money to Benin. I'm sure what is known as Nigeria today, what is known as Burkina Faso, what is known as Niger, what is known as Guinea, what is known as Ghana. This man was just spreading money left and right, man. You know what I'm saying? So he was an innovator too in terms of the education. He built schools, Sankara University, first university to be known in the world. You know what I'm saying? This man was so brilliant, man. It was incredible. And I'm actually enjoying this episode. Y'all give me a second. I think my GGI thing is going to run out of power. We don't want that. Then the camera is going to stay stable. But yeah, man, that's Mansa Musa right there. Now, him being a king, I've covered him being a king. Now, when I say king, his reign was 25 years of ruling. No other king in the Mali Empire ever touched what he did. He's regarded as the greatest king ever. And some regard him as the greatest African king. In fact, he's regarded as we know he's the richest king. Some call him the greatest king of all time, aside from Jesus himself. But Jesus himself wasn't a king. Jesus was just a normal human being. You know what I mean? Who happened to be seen as a king. You know what I'm saying? He was the first revolutionary and all that kind of good stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm really getting into this now. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, that's amazing, right? That's Mansa Musa right there, man. He was a futurist. He thought about how we can better his nation, his country, his people. And in order to do that, guess what you have to do? Educate. Come up with technology. Come up with the sciences. Come up with all these different types of things that you can come up with. You know what I mean? That was Mansa Musa right there. So that's what he did. Now, you know, with me, for all those who are familiar with my podcast, you know I always focus on gold. Yes, there was gold. This is Mansa Musa we're talking about right here. What God did he believe in? Aaron Hicks. I wouldn't necessarily call it a God. It was more he was Muslim. So he was Muslim. And he's the one who introduced astrology. Sorry, y'all, I'm just seeing some of y'all questions now. Astrology, mathematics, the sciences. Like for me, for example, I'm a Nigerian. I'm from West Africa. I don't really believe in the traditions of Islam and Christianity. I more believe in the old ancient gods like Shango, the thunder god, the god of all gods, Ogun, the god of iron, Eshu, Orisha, all that kind of stuff like that. You know what I mean? I believe in the traditions. I'm kind of, as I get older now, I'm breaking away from the traditions of Christianity and Islam because I don't believe in it. It's not my tradition. I'm sticking to the old traditional faiths. It makes sense? So yeah, Aaron, the best way I can answer that is he believed in Islam. That was his thing. But they also meshed tradition of Mali in there too, which is Mende, the traditional language. You know, colonialism did not block what Mali is doing today. Today, people are transitioning from French to Mende, back to Mende, because we want to get our Africanness back, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So Mansa Musa, man, the greatest African king of all time. You know, there's top 3 kings of Mansa Musa in history. Mende the second, no. So Mansa Musa, King Shaka Zulu, Jesu himself, which some call him Jesus. Yes, Jesus was a brother from East Africa. Mendik the second from Utopia. King Hannibal from the north. You know what I'm saying? And King Hannibal is going to be another person I'm going to talk about. I can do this all day long, y'all. You know what I mean? But I love talking about great African allure, great African kings. Yeah, so that's Mansa Musa right there, man. So, yo, that's Mansa Musa right there. The greatness of Mansa Musa is not to be understated. You know what I'm saying? And thank all of you for joining me, man. Be sure to share, like, and share and like. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all. We're about to approach 6,000 likes. Oh, my God. Y'all are amazing. At this late night, fantastic. So, y'all, now, you know with me, if anybody's ever seen me, I always stress well-being, wellness, mental health. Well, the platform of TikTok is no different. Look at this. I got a journal, right? You know, it's amazing what we got going these days. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing what we got going these days. You know, when we talk about the exception of tradition, Mansa Musa is the stand-up pinnacle, right? And so when you think about a guy like Mansa Musa, how healthy mentally was he to where, which is what I'm talking about now, you know, what usually makes you serene and be at peace with yourself is when you can actually focus on your vastness as a human being and you can build, right? When you're stable, when you're balanced, that is important. I stress that word to a lot of people all the time. It's important to be very balanced with yourself so your mentals is real good. Like me, for example, I haven't hidden it. I've been in therapy for the last 3 years, almost from 2023 to 2025, right? And my therapist has done so much wonders for me to deal with my trauma and all the other things I had to deal with, right? I've grown from that. Man, when I say I'm evolved, I'm so evolved. And when you have that peace, that serenity, that tranquility, you can achieve anything. To date, y'all ain't gonna believe this, but my therapist, well, my last therapy session was in May 2025, last year. But he's had me start a journal. And look at the number. This is journal number 10, right here. Journal number 10, y'all. And not only that, but this is the 998, no, day number 989 that I've been writing my journal every single day. So my mental is so great. My serenity is so great. And so I'm able to do that, right? And I stress this enough. If you know you need help, there's plenty of help out there. A lot of podcasts talk, but nobody ever tells anybody to go get help if they need it. I stress mental health. I stress physical health. I stress reading a book. Make sure you get your exercise in, maybe 3 times a week if you can do it. And then if you know you need help, any trauma you've experienced, we've all been traumatized. If you've been traumatized in any kind of way, it's not your fault. But what you can do is empower yourself and go get the help that you need, right? Because a lot of jobs, like for example, wherever you work at, they generally offer therapy sessions, at least 8 free sessions. From what I know me at my job, I get 8 free sessions. You best believe I took advantage of that. You know what I mean? I took advantage of that. Oh, yes, I did. You better believe that. You know I did. So, you know, when you build yourself up like that, there's really, the only way to do after you do that is moving up. And so when you're able to move up because you're mentally healthy and mentally caring for yourself, that's self-love. That's self-care, right? You know, this is not something for everybody that don't do this on that podcast, but I do. Because for me, the greatest wealth you can have is when you share with others to better themselves. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about empowerment. Like I went to the post office the other day. It was on Tuesday. And the lady that usually works at the counter of the post office is somebody I consider to be an amazing human being. And I could tell her energy was off. And so, you know, I wrote her a note about how not giving up your dreams can really elevate your higher space. I said, whatever you're dealing with, I know you're strong enough to handle it, right? Sometimes strangers can just give you words of encouragement. It's good to do this. And I know sometimes we generally say, oh, how you doing? But when you say it next time, mean it to the person you're saying it to. And that person might want to talk to you. Like I had that happen to me at work today. One of my coworkers just talked to me the whole day. And I've noticed that a lot of people like talking to me because they know I give them honest feedback. People want honesty. As my uncle always says, the truth is the truth. Whether it's 1 second from now, 1 minute from now, 1 hour from now, 1 day from now, 1 week from now, 1 month from now, 1 year from now. It don't matter. Just tell people the truth. That's the best thing you can do for people, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's an incredible feeling to feel as such, right? To feel as such that you elevate yourself in your mind to go where you want to go. So get the help. Get the therapy. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. Try it out. Believe me. You'll be a lot better for it. Believe me. I know. When I tell you I'm in a different state of serenity, I am truly in a different state of serenity. It is the best feeling you can have. I mean, it is wild great. You know what I'm saying? It is wild great how I feel. I'm in a great state of serenity. I'm so at peace. It's not even funny, y'all. That's why my peace has grown what I'm doing now. Look at me. I'm #1 streaming right now live. And I'm just doing a podcast. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doing me. You know what I mean? So, yo, that's where it's at, man. Getting your mind right. Your mind right here. Getting your mind right. That's the segment that you always look forward to that. Getting your mind right. You know what I mean? Getting your mind right is a very integral thing. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of yourself, loving yourself, knowing yourself, appreciating yourself. You know what I'm saying, y'all? You know? So, y'all, that's where we at, man. That's getting your mind right. So now, last but not least, something I do every week, y'all. And y'all know I do. Final thoughts. So as far as today, man, final thoughts is on the great Mansa Musa, the great African king, West Africa. Look, let me pan it again. Let y'all see this great man. Because as far as I'm concerned, he's the greatest, richest, wealthiest human being that ever lived. The great Mansa Musa. Can't nobody touch this, brother. He like that. Him. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, let me flip this thing around real quick. Look at this. You see that? That's Mansa Musa once again. That's the great Mansa Musa, the great Malian king, the greatest king of all time. African king, the wealthiest African king of all time. Look at this. This man did some incredible feats, man. He was a man who believed in astrology, scholaring, and all that kind of stuff. So that's Mansa Musa right there, y'all. The great African king. That's right. Y'all be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And thank you for the 6,000 likes. I can't thank y'all enough for an amazing episode tonight. So, y'all, that's Mansa Musa right there, the great African king. I talked about his origins, where he was from, his throne time. He ruled from 1280 AD to 1337 AD. He was the wealthiest human being to ever lived. He was a scholar. He created the first university in the world, Sankore University, Sakore University, University of Sankore, which is still there in Mali. He built Timbuktu, which became the center figure, mathematics, astrology, the sciences, all that stuff. And he had people from all of the globes of the world, from Europe, from the Middle East, all coming to study mathematics of Timbuktu. Mathematics was given to the world by Timbuktu, by Mali. Everybody likes to talk about Egypt, but Egypt is not the center of Africa. Heck no. No, that's Mali. You know what I'm saying? That's Mali with its gold reserves. So I'm proud of Ibrahim Assimi Goïta, the president of Mali now, as he takes back Mali's resources from French and kicking them out, telling them to go kick rocks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you know, he's a great man, built a great kingdom. Of course, his palace is no longer standing now, but the school and the mosque that he built is still standing. And you know, that kind of things happen when the next person who gets into power decides to break things down. But that's okay, because we still celebrate Mansa Musa. And it ain't nothing for Assimi Goïta of Mali to rebuild that kingdom. And he's talked about taking back Timbuktu and getting it where it needs to go. So, yo, that's Mali right there, man. Y'all, this has been an amazing episode. So now, let me talk about, this is a great king of Mansa Musa. Now, let me talk about some of the cool stuff that I've got. First things first in my hand, why not? Travel neck pillows. Yeah, we travel a lot nowadays. During the spring, people generally travel. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes I stutter. Well, guess what? You need a travel neck pillow. Who don't want a travel neck pillow? Are you kidding me? Look at this. This is so cool. Look how cool my neck is right there. When I'm on the plane, I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? Passed out. You know what I'm saying? Just doing my thing, passing out on the plane. Even in the car, this thing is so secure. And you can get it in multiple characters too. Like this is a Cards of Assassins one right here. Version 5, version 1. But you get any character. Cards of Assassins. Sorry, I can't say price. That gets you in trouble on TikTok. You can just go ahead and visit my platform and you can check it out there. Big as a hole. Check it out. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can copy and paste something in there. So feel free to click on this link and check it out, man. You know what I mean? So I can't say that anymore. I'm not getting any more trouble on TikTok. I've had enough. So another cool thing, journals. Remember the journal I was talking about getting your mind right? Well, guess what? A journal. Yep. Journals are super cool. Right? Your daily activities, man. Knowing who you are so you can know where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? And then, well, look, give me a second. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Yes, we are there, TikTok. I'm still around. Yeah. You know what I mean? So look, check this out. We got backpacks too. And you know I'm a student, so I gotta have a backpack. You see the outfit right there, the African outfit? Yeah, we doing this doggone thing. You feel me? Look at the backpack, man. Custom design, secure. Yeah. Y'all might mess around and have a Dr. Doom backpack pretty soon. You know what I mean? But this is a backpack, heavy duty. And look, I use this for school. You see that? That's my school backpack right there. That's what I wear. That's what I rock when I'm going to school. I think I'm gonna wear this outfit to school next week. I think I really will. This is pretty cool, man. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. So we're doing backpacks now, right? Now, for all of you don't know, since we're in the school session time, laptop cases. Everybody's got a laptop, and guess what you need? You need a case to protect that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Check this out. So look at this. Tell me that ain't sick, right? Laptop cases. Look at that. That's what we're doing over here. Then, the best part of the day. Let me do this right quick. You see this? We always got apparel, custom designed. You know what I mean? Look at this, right? Look at this. Men's gear, women's gear, hoodies, tank tops, you name it. We got it. Look at this. Check this out. Tell me that ain't sick, right? That's pretty sick, right? Yeah, I got a link in the bio. I think so. You can check it out. You can check out in my thingy. You know what I mean? So y'all, as I stated before, I can't talk about links and stuff like that anymore because apparently TikTok frowns upon that. So please understand. Just you see what's in the chat. I copied the link in there. Be sure to go check it out. You know what I mean? And you can also check that in the bio too. So you know what I mean? So this is men's gear. Now this is a Cards of Assassins Training Day t-shirt right here, but it's got the sweatpants too, and you can get any character, right? Now it's all good, man. It's all good, man. I think it's Brax. Yeah, it's all good, brother. I'm just letting you know. I can't do that no more. And look, be sure to like, and definitely follow. Follow the channel if you're not following my channel already. Every week I'm going to have my podcast on TikTok now. I like it a lot better than YouTube. YouTube is a mess. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. So this is the back of the apparel right there. You know what I'm saying? Then you got women's gear. Look, y'all didn't know, but we got women's gear right here. Look at this. Women's gear right here. Look, check that out. Women's gear. We got t-shirt. We got the sport leggings. You know what I'm saying, ladies? We doing something for y'all too, man. We making all kinds of cool stuff, man. So y'all be sure to get these likes up. I'm trying to get to 7,000 likes. Do y'all think we can get to 7,000 likes? I know y'all can. You know what I mean? But this is the women's gear. Then you got the women's leggings too. Look, you got leggings too right there. Custom design. You know what I'm saying? So apparel, we doing that too, man. All kinds of cool stuff. And since we're in winter, look at this. Bomber jackets. Yep. Tell me that ain't sick. That's next level right there. You know what I'm saying? That's straight next level right there. That's heat right there. You know what I'm saying? So that's heat right there. That is definitely heat. Now, let's get to some of the cool stuff that is available. Give me a second. If there's one thing you know we do over here, oh Lord have mercy. Here goes TikTok messing with me. I'm almost done anyway. I don't even care anymore. We got cool sneakers. Y'all see these? Yep. These are definitely available, man. Look at this right here. All definitely available. You know where to go. You know what I mean? Sinusvision.com. And then you've got these right here. And I'm about to get up out of here, y'all, because it's been an amazing episode. Totally amazing episode. Are you kidding me? Yes, sir. Look at this. The Bata Sport 3s right here. This is where it's at right here. This is heat right here, boy. What y'all know about this right here? What do y'all know about this right here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they took a good minute, man. They took a month to design. A good month. A long month to design. And for all you don't know, just letting you know right now, I will be attending WonderCon at the Hanaheim Convention Center. I know a lot of y'all don't know that, but it's WonderCon. You know what I mean? We're going to be attending WonderCon. So, we're going to be attending WonderCon. I will be at WonderCon. Table number B21. Table number B21. So, I'll be going to WonderCon this year. That's right. I got in. I'm sorry, I don't talk about prices. You be sure to visit the website and check it out. You know what I mean? You can see the price there. So that's where it's at. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. TikTok frowns on that. They trip too much. WonderCon, that's in California, man. That's in California. WonderCon. I'm surprised you never heard of WonderCon. I'm shocked. Hopefully you've heard of Comic-Con, I hope. But yeah, these are the Bata Sport 3s right here, man. The Bata Sport 3s. Multiple colors, multiple characters. This is Cards of Assassins Training Day 1 to honor the comic book. But we got it in different characters, 2 different colors. Blue, green, red, yellow, brown, orange, pink, purple, dark gray, black. You know what I'm saying? So we got different. And then, of course, last but not least, the last thing we're going to touch on today. And then thank y'all for so much for bringing y'all's amazing energy. Thank you for joining me tonight on this amazing podcast episode. I can't thank y'all enough, man. It's been amazing. I refuse to be on YouTube and just be getting messed with. So, right here, y'all be sure to hit the like, man. Yep, so this right here is my comic book, Cards of Assassins Training Day. I always emphasize it every podcast episode. This is now available on my website. Be sure to go check it out. So if you love comic books, you got to go get you one of these right here. Look, let me show y'all the snippet of it. So you got the cover, right? Check that out, right? Then you got the back. See that right there? And then you got the inside. Look, let me show you a little page on it. Y'all can get a little snippet of what it looks like. You see how cool that is? Yes, sir. That's what we're doing over here at Sanuvision, man. We're doing major things right here. So Sanuvision, major things. And look, I'm in school this year, right? I'm taking game design. Game design. You know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Game design is so cool. So being an animator, you want to do as many things as you can. You know what I'm saying? You want to do as many things as you can. And when you can do as many things as I can do, you feel pretty good about yourself. Thank you, It's Brox, for keep hitting them like buttons. I appreciate you, man. Keep hitting them buttons. So that's Cards of Assassins Training Day comic book. It's now available on sunvision.com. So I've got the small one and I've got the large one. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be sure to check it out, man. This comic book took 9 years to create. 9 years. And as many of y'all who follow me now, you know that I'm an animator. Animation is basically my bread and butter, my love, my first love. Well, now I'm starting to have love for comic books again. You know what I mean? So, animation is my baby, but comic books is behind it. And anything to do with my characters, I'm gonna diversify them. And look, I'm starting to be into gaming too. That's one of the reasons why I'm in school right now. I'm a student, so I work full time. I'm a student full time, and I do my own thing full time, my art full time. So I'm over here just trifecting that thing. Y'all feel me? So Cards of Assassins Training Day now. I have no idea what this person is talking about. TikTok. Yeah, but I'm almost off this platform. But yeah, that's what's up, man, y'all. So thank y'all for joining me tonight, man. So y'all, that's our night for tonight. Yeah, you got to be on the grind, man. The grind is the grind. So y'all, thank y'all for joining me tonight, man. It's been another amazing episode of my podcast, Sanusi Not Life, episode number 241. And we focus today on the great Mansa Musa, the great African king from West Africa, the richest king in African history. In the history of man. The richest human being in the history of man, Mansa Musa. You know what I'm saying? Worth well over 500 billion. It's insane the amount of money he has. Yep. Yeah, do so. Appreciate that. So thank you all for joining me, man. And before we get up out of here, we got to thank our sponsors. This Sun Vision podcast is brought to you by Homeland Fashions, home of authentic African fashion accessories from the motherland. If you need accessories fashion from the motherland, you got to go visit homelandfashionshop.com, y'all. So thank y'all for joining me. And this podcast also brought to you by Teagler. If you need executive services from plumbers to pediatricians and everything between, search Teagler. Don't wait, that's Teagler.com. And this podcast also brought to you by Anadil Foot and Ankle. Don't live with foot pain like Anadil Foot and Ankle. Make your feet happy again. That's AnadilCenter.com for details, y'all. AnadilCenter.com for details, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me, man. It's been an amazing episode. Thank you for joining me. This has been quite the awesome episode, man. So thank you all so much for joining me. And I plan on having guests on my podcast too, on my TikTok platform. So I think that's going to be pretty cool right there, y'all. Y'all be sure to share, like, and subscribe, please. And if you're not following my channel, please be sure to follow. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, thank y'all for joining me. Thank you for listening. This podcast is produced, written, and directed by yours truly, Adewale Goke Jr. Please check out my website on sunvision.com for all the cool stuff that I got. You know what I mean? It is an amazing platform. And please check out my my YouTube channel and my TikTok channel now for my YouTube episodes. Be sure to share this episode with your friends, man, because it's going to be live on my YouTube channel. Once I'm done here, I'm going to upload this into my YouTube platform, and they can watch it from the beginning if you didn't get a chance to watch it from the beginning. You want to miss all some amazing stuff that I have to say about the platform. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for joining me, man. You know what I mean? And look, my YouTube channel and my TikTok platform are my two biggest ones that I use. But sometimes my YouTube channel is tripping. So I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. Let me go somewhere else. And that's exactly what I did. So y'all be sure to share, like, subscribe, and definitely hit the notification button on both platforms. So y'all please follow me on my social media platform, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Yes, I have a Twitch platform now. Please follow me on Twitch. That's also Sanusi Vision. Everything I'm telling y'all as far as my social medias is all Sanusi Vision. That's right. I keep it singular. Y'all feel me? So Sanusi Vision is where it's at. Thanks to y'all tonight. We've had an amazing showing of episodes, amazing showing of likes. I did not expect to get to 7,000 likes tonight. 7,000 likes, y'all, on a podcast episode. What? That's amazing. 7,000 likes. That's just insane. You know what I'm saying? So y'all, please don't forget to review us, rate us. And for me, as far as the social medias, my TikTok and my YouTube are the biggest platform. I use them frequently, even though TikTok is doing its best to try to shadow ban me. But it still can't stop what I'm doing. So I'm going to keep on. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all for joining me. And please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star. Don't be a hater. Man, appreciate you, Aiden, man. Yes, sir. If you're already following me, appreciate that too. Yes, you got to stay on the grind. I've been growing this thing. You know, at this point, my friend, I should be at 100,000 followers already, but TikTok keeps messing with my platform. They just stay messing with my platform. They can't help themselves. You know what I mean? But it's all to the good though, no worries. So look, please, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be ahead. And look, share. If y'all can within the next 5 minutes get me to like you should get me. Thank you for following. Thank you. Appreciate that. If y'all can get me to like 50 people in the chat right now, I'll take it. See, y'all got to be sharing. So the next time I come on, y'all got to share. You know what I'm saying? So, don't forget to review us, rate us, give us a 5-star, don't be a hater. And there's two things I always say. Continue to aspire and achieve. You know what I'm saying? There's two things I always say. One, there's no success in skipping steps. The back of the line is just as important in front of the line. Be determined, not desperate. And then the second one, your dreams can be delayed but must never be extinguished. So wait your time while the universe delivers your right hand. Be determined, not desperate. Y'all, you got to continue to aspire and achieve. You got to continue to believe in yourself. And you got to continue to take it forward in all mannerisms of your dream. Don't let nobody stop you, or tell you what you can and can't do, y'all. Believe in yourself always. Trust yourself in your dreams and continue to aspire and achieve. Thank y'all so much for your time tonight. Thank you for an amazing episode tonight. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow live again, because tomorrow's Friday. It's going to be on and popping. Yeah, TikTok definitely messing with my algorithm. Yeah, they sure do, man. But you got to stay on the grind. Don't let them stop you. So appreciate all of y'all. And next time I come on live, man, let's be sure to give me some gifts so, we can get our likes and all this kind of cool stuff that I'm supposed to have up. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate y'all. Y'all continue to aspire and achieve. Have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay safe. Peace. Peace to you too, Aiden. Let me see how many views I had. Wow, that was a ridiculous night. Totally awesome. Thank y'all for y'all energy. 7,000 likes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.